Now, if you watched me about a few months ago, you noticed that I had tweeted and taken some photos, and I actually did a small little review on zoom lens cups and mugs that I had purchased. Now, I ordered this particular one from Photo Jojo. I have to say that this is probably the best lens mug that I've actually encountered so far. I own three so far. This is probably the best quality that I've actually gotten. So it's not that expensive. It's probably right around 25, I believe, or $29 for this. It's an insulated mug. It's stainless steel on the inside with plastic on the outside. It actually has functioning, i.e. movable, sliders. So you can actually go from manual focus to autofocus while you're drinking your coffee. You can turn stabilizer on and off while you're drinking your soda or coffee. And your different stabilizer modes have the slider switches that all move for you. It looks a lot like a standard lens. It really, really does. From far away, and really even up close, it looks legit. Um, I have had a lot of people actually ask me, what the heck are you bringing your camera lens to work for? And then as soon as I unscrew the top, which actually in this one, out of all of them, actually does screw down, which is really kind of nice. The downside to that is that there's no way to actually screw the top on and drink if you're in the car. So you are drinking out of a cup, not a sort of auto mug, if you will, that you can actually just, has a little sipper area at the end. So you have to be aware of that. It is a solid top. It has to be unscrewed to be able to get it off. It does keep things hot for quite a long time. It actually does keep things cool, obviously, conversely, for the same amount of time. I'd say easily up to half an hour or an hour, depending on the beverage and the heat that you actually have it at, or the cold that you have it at set. It's not a vacuum thermos mug, so there is no vacuum inside of here, so it will transfer heat after a little while or cold. It does seem to do a pretty good job of it, though, and the stainless steel keeps the hot foods hot and the cold foods cold pretty darn well. Overall, I have to say this is a really nice mug. Now, here's some of the caveats. Obviously, I told you just about the sipper issue. Now, one of the other things I also noticed is that even though it's not dishwasher friendly, the sleeve, the actual stainless steel sleeve that's glued around the outside of the rim, came loose. It could spin, and it just started coming kind of loose after a while. After even more time, I started noticing some sound coming from the bottom of this. It actually made a clunking noise every time I would tip it over to take a drink. After a certain point, it started becoming annoying, i.e. about 5 minutes. So I finished my drink and proceeded to then wedge something in to take the bottom off. Now this is glued on by default, but what I had found is the bottom of the lens mug actually has a little screw in it. That screw had come completely off, and it basically screws into a small little tab on the bottom of the stainless steel cup. The problem with this is that this was now knocking about every single time you moved it around, and it basically turned into a castanet sort of sound all the time. Really annoying. So this was not very hard. If you do buy this and it happens to you, I would say take a small little electronic screwdriver, the really small flathead screwdrivers, just kind of wedge it in at the bottom, pry it up. Mine was only glued in one spot. You can kind of see that little black area where the glue was. Take the screw, make sure it's tightened down. What I did was before I tightened that screw down, I actually took the stainless steel cup, completely pulled it out, and ran a bead of basically super glue around the outside edge, and then pushed the stainless steel cup back on top of it, let it set, and then pulled the screw in as basically finger tight. I wouldn't go extraordinarily tight with it. It's stainless steel on the one end, but the bottom of this is still plastic. If you torque down on it really, really hard, it's going to crack the plastic, and you're going to basically be right back where you were. It's going to be a broken bottom of the cup. When you're done with that, my next plan, I kept it undone so I could show you guys. But basically, you take the top and you're going to want to glue that back on so that it's solid. When you're done with that, if you could tell, it doesn't make any noise now. So it actually worked out really, really well, and I think it's actually going to be a much better cup now and last a little bit longer. If you want to impress your friends, if you want to make people kind of look at you a little funny at the coffee shops or at school or at work, pick yourself up one of these lens mugs at Photo Jojo. They make a smaller version of this as well. It's about half the size, your standard black lens case. It's economical. It's not that expensive. It seems to work pretty well overall. Like I said, there's a couple of those caveats. Hopefully the bottom won't break out for you and you won't have to do the fix at all. But now you know if it does, that's how you fix it. And they're about $25 to $35, I want to say, somewhere right around that range. They make a Canon model, which is what I'm holding, as well as a Nikon model as well. That's over at photojojo.com. And that's about it. So the lens mug from Photo Jojo, my review and sort of an update as I've been using it. This has been an episode of Geek Tech Live. I appreciate everyone who's stopping by, and I will talk to you all very, very soon.